There comes a point in life where you realize something powerful. The real battle is not outside, it's inside your mind. Every single day you are fighting a war that no one else can see. A war against fear. A war against overthinking. And most people lose this war not because they are weak physically, but because they are not strong mentally. But you are different. Because if you are still here, still trying, still pushing forward despite everything, that means you are being built for war, mentally. Because life does not test everyone the same way. Some people live in comfort. Some people avoid pressure. Some people run away when things get hard. But not you. You've faced pressure. You've faced struggle. You've had days where your mind felt heavy, where nothing made sense, where giving up felt easier than continuing. And yet, you're still here. That is not weakness. That is strength. Mental strength. Another truth you need to understand is this: mental toughness is not something you are born with. It is something you build through difficult moments, through uncomfortable situations, through times when you feel like breaking but choose to keep going. Every time you push through pain, every time you silence your doubts, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are training your mind. You are becoming stronger. Because the mind works like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it becomes. The more you push it, the more it adapts. And over time, you develop a mindset that cannot be easily shaken. At this stage, you begin to understand that your thoughts control everything. If your mind is weak, your actions will be weak. If your mind is strong, your actions will be powerful. Because everything starts in the mind. The way you think affects the way you feel. The way you feel affects the way you act. And the way you act determines your results. That is why mental strength is everything. Another important realization is that you cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Life will throw challenges at you, unexpected problems, difficult situations, moments that test your patience and your strength. But your reaction to those moments is what defines you. You can choose to break, or you can choose to build yourself through it. And that choice is what separates winners from everyone else. At this point, you also begin to understand that comfort is dangerous. Comfort keeps you stuck. Comfort makes you weak. Comfort stops you from growing. Because when everything is easy, you don't develop strength. You don't push yourself. You don't improve. That is why life puts you in uncomfortable situations. Not to hurt you, but to grow you. To force you to become stronger. To force you to think differently. To force you to develop a mindset that can handle anything. So if your life feels difficult right now, if your mind feels like it's constantly under pressure, if you feel like you are fighting every single day, remember this: you are not being broken. You are being built. Built for war, mentally. And the fact that you are still standing means you are stronger than you think. As you continue through this journey, you begin to understand something even deeper. The battlefield is your mind, and every single day you are either winning or losing based on your thoughts. Because your mind is powerful. It can either build you or destroy you. It can push you forward or hold you back. And the difference between those two outcomes comes down to how you train it. Most people don't realize this. They let their thoughts control them. They listen to every doubt. They believe every negative idea. They react to every emotion. And over time, they lose control. But when you are mentally built for war, you don't let your thoughts control you. You control them. That is what makes you different. Another powerful truth is that your mind will try to protect you, but not always in the right way. It will tell you to stay comfortable. It will tell you to avoid risk. It will tell you to take the easy path. Because your mind wants safety. But growth does not happen in safety. Growth happens in discomfort. So if you always listen to the part of your mind that wants comfort, you will never become stronger. That is why you must learn to challenge your own thoughts. When your mind says, "This is too hard," you respond, "I can handle it." When your mind says, "I feel tired," you respond, "Keep going." When your mind says, "Maybe I should quit," you respond, "Not today." This is mental discipline, and it is built through repetition. Every time you push back against weakness, you become stronger. Every time you override negative thoughts, you gain control. And over time, your mind stops working against you and starts working for you. At this stage, you also begin to understand the importance of focus. Because in a world full of distractions, focus is power. There are so many things trying to take your attention. Social media, other people's opinions, noise and negativity. And if you are not careful, you will lose focus on your own goals. But when you are mentally strong, you protect your focus. You don't waste time on things that don't matter. You don't get distracted by what others are doing. You don't let outside noise control your direction. Instead, you stay locked in, you stay committed, you stay focused on your path, and that focus gives you an advantage. Because while others are distracted, you are improving. Another important realization is that pain is part of mental growth. No one becomes mentally strong without going through difficult moments. Without facing challenges, without experiencing pressure, because pain forces you to grow. It forces you to adapt. It forces you to become stronger. So instead of avoiding pain, you start embracing it. You understand that every difficult moment is training your mind. It is making you tougher. It is building your resilience. And that changes your perspective. Because now, when things get hard, you don't panic. You don't quit. You stay calm. You stay focused. You keep moving forward. At this point, you also begin to build confidence. Not fake confidence. Not confidence based on what others think, but real confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you can handle anything. Because you have faced challenges before, you have pushed through difficult moments, you have proven to yourself that you can endure. And that creates belief. Belief in your strength, belief in your ability, belief that no matter what happens, you will find a way. Another powerful shift is that you stop fearing failure, because you understand that failure is not the end. It is part of the process. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback makes you stronger. Every failure moves you forward if you learn from it. So instead of being afraid, you become fearless. Not because nothing scares you, but because you know you can handle it. And that is what it means to be built for war mentally. So if your mind feels like a battlefield right now, if you are fighting doubts, fears, and pressure, remember this: you are not losing. You are training. You are becoming stronger. You are building a mindset that cannot be broken. And that mindset will take you further than anything else ever could. As you go deeper into this journey of mental strength, you begin to notice something powerful. You are no longer reacting to life the same way. Things that once shook you no longer have the same effect. Situations that once stressed you no longer control your mind. Problems that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. Why? Because your mind is getting stronger. And when your mind becomes strong, your entire life changes. At this stage, you begin to understand that emotional control is a superpower. Most people let their emotions control them. They react out of anger. They make decisions based on fear. They quit when they feel overwhelmed. But when you are mentally built for war, you don't let emotions take control. You feel them, but you don't let them decide your actions, because you understand that emotions are temporary, but decisions are permanent. So you train yourself to pause, to think, to respond instead of react, and that control gives you power. Another powerful realization is that discipline becomes your foundation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel weak, but discipline stays. Discipline means showing up no matter how you feel. It means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It means staying consistent when others quit. And that consistency is what builds success. Because success is not about big moments. It's about small actions repeated daily. At this point, you also begin to understand the importance of self-talk. The way you speak to yourself matters. If you constantly tell yourself you are not good enough, you will start to believe it. If you constantly focus on your weaknesses, you will limit your growth. But when you change your self-talk, everything changes. You start telling yourself, I can handle this. I will figure this out. I am getting stronger every day. And over time, those words become your reality, because your mind listens to what you repeat. Another important lesson is learning to stay alone when necessary. Because growth often happens in silence. There will be times when you need to step away from distractions. Times when you need to focus on yourself. Times when you need to work without validation. And that can feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Because in those quiet moments, you build yourself. You develop your mindset. You strengthen your discipline. And you become more focused. At this stage, you also realize that not everyone will understand your journey. Some people will doubt you. Some people will question your decisions. Some people will not believe in your vision. But that should not stop you. Because you are not doing this for them. You are doing this for yourself, your goals, your future, your growth. So you stop seeking approval. You stop trying to explain yourself. You focus on your path, and that focus makes you stronger. Another powerful shift is that you begin to embrace pressure. Instead of fearing it, you use it, because pressure creates strength. Pressure forces you to perform. Pressure pushes you beyond your limits. And when you learn to handle pressure, you become dangerous, because most people break under pressure, but you rise. At this point, you also begin to trust yourself more. You trust your decisions. You trust your ability to handle challenges. You trust your strength to keep going, because you have already proven it. You have already faced difficult moments. You have already pushed through pain. You have already shown yourself that you don't quit easily. And that trust becomes your confidence. So as you continue forward, remember this: your mind is your greatest weapon. Train it, protect it, strengthen it. Because when your mind is strong, nothing can stop you. You become focused, you become disciplined, you become unstoppable. And that is what it truly means to be built for war mentally. As you continue strengthening your mind, you reach a stage where something powerful happens. You stop waiting for life to get easier. Instead, you become stronger. Because you finally understand this truth: life is not supposed to be easy. You are supposed to become better, and that realization changes everything. You stop wishing for fewer problems. You stop hoping for less pressure. You stop expecting comfort, and instead you prepare yourself to handle more. More responsibility, more challenges, more pressure. Because now, you know that every level of life requires a stronger mindset, and you are building that mindset every single day. At this stage, you also begin to master patience, not just waiting, but trusting. Trusting that your effort will pay off. Trusting that your consistency will create results. Trusting that even when you don't see progress, something is happening behind the scenes. Because mental strength is not just about pushing hard, it is about staying steady, even when things are slow, even when results are not immediate, even when it feels like nothing is changing. You stay committed, you keep going, and that patience becomes your advantage. Another powerful realization is that you don't need external validation anymore. You don't need people to praise you. You don't need recognition for your effort. You don't need approval to keep going. Because you know what you are doing, you know your journey, you know your struggle, and that is enough. This is where real confidence is built. Quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to be loud. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. The kind that simply shows through your actions. At this point, You also learn to protect your peace, because a strong mind is not just built through struggle, it is also maintained through control. You become careful about what you allow into your mind. You avoid negativity. You distance yourself from distractions. You limit things that drain your energy, because you understand that your mental state is valuable, and protecting it is your responsibility. Another important lesson is learning to keep going when no one is watching, because real growth happens in private when there is no applause, no recognition, no validation, just you and your effort. And those are the moments that matter the most, because they build discipline, they build character, they build a mindset that does not depend on external motivation. At this stage, you also realize that setbacks are part of the journey. Things will not always go your way. Plans will fail. Mistakes will happen. Unexpected challenges will appear. But instead of getting discouraged, you adapt, you adjust, you learn, and you keep moving forward, because you understand that progress is not about perfection. It is about persistence. Another powerful shift is that you become more focused than ever before. You know what you want. You know what you need to do, and you don't let distractions pull you away, because your goals matter more than temporary comfort. Your future matters more than short-term pleasure, and that clarity gives you direction. At this point, you begin to feel something powerful: control. Not control over everything in life, but control over yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your habits. And that is where real power comes from. Because when you control yourself, you can handle anything. So as you move forward, remember this: you are not waiting for life to change. You are becoming someone who can handle anything life throws at you. You are building strength. You are building discipline. You are building a mindset that cannot be broken. And that is why you are different. That is why you are strong. That is why you are built for war mentally. Now you've reached the final stage of this journey, the point where everything becomes clear. All the pressure you've faced, all the battles inside your mind, all the moments where you felt like giving up but didn't. They were never there to destroy you. They were there to define you. Because at the end of the day, life is not testing your body, it is testing your mind. Your ability to stay focused when distractions are everywhere. Your ability to stay strong when everything feels heavy. Your ability to keep going when quitting feels easier. And the fact that you are still here means you are passing that test. At this final stage, you begin to realize that mental strength is your greatest weapon, not money, not talent, not luck, but your mindset. Because with a strong mind, you can rebuild anything, you can recover from failure, you can adapt to change, you can push through challenges that would break most people. And that is what makes you dangerous in the best way possible. Another powerful truth you must understand is this: you didn't come this far just to give up now. Think about everything you've already overcome, the struggles that tested you, the pain that pushed you, the moments that almost broke you. You survived all of it. So why would you quit now? Why would you doubt yourself now? You are too strong to go back, and you are too far ahead to stop. At this point, everything comes down to discipline and consistency, because motivation will not always be there. Feelings will change, energy will go up and down, but discipline stays, and discipline is what keeps you moving forward. Even on your worst days, even when you feel tired, even when your mind tries to convince you to stop, you keep going, because that is who you are now. Another important realization is that your journey is yours alone. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will support it. Not everyone will believe in you. But that does not matter, because you are not doing this for them. You are doing this for yourself, your growth, your future, your purpose. And that purpose is bigger than any doubt or distraction. At this stage, you also begin to feel something powerful: certainty. Certainty that you will make it. Not because things are easy, but because you have built the mindset to handle anything. You trust yourself, you trust your process, you trust your ability to keep going no matter what. And that belief becomes unshakable. Another powerful truth is this: the war never truly ends. There will always be new challenges, new levels, new pressures. But now you are ready, because you are no longer the person who started this journey. You are stronger, you are wiser, you are more disciplined, focused. You are someone who has been tested and kept going. And that is what makes you unstoppable. So as you move forward from this moment, remember this: you are not weak. You are trained. You are not broken. You are built. You are not lost. You are learning. And most importantly, you are not afraid of the battle anymore, because you have realized who you are: someone who does not quit. You are someone who does not break under pressure. You are someone who keeps going no matter what. You are someone who is built, so keep pushing, keep fighting, keep growing. Because the mindset you have built will take you places nothing else can. And one day you will look back at everything you went through and you will realize it wasn't there to stop you, it was there to make you unstoppable.